The 48 Laws of Power Summary. What's the story of the 48 Laws of Power? Exploring various facets of power dynamics, The 48 Laws of Power, 1998, provides unconventional perspectives on understanding, thwarting, and leveraging power. Covering communication skills, motivation, politics, personal development, management, leadership, corporate culture, career, and success, this summary delves into the core principles of power through historical examples. Who's the author of the 48 Laws of Power? Authored by Robert Greene, an American writer and UC Berkeley graduate. This book is the inaugural installment in his series of international bestsellers, offering strategic insights into the intricacies of power, strategy, and triumph. Who's the 48 Laws of Power Summary for anyone fascinated by the dynamics of motivation, communication, personal development, and leadership. And for those wishing to learn how to maximize their power to their greatest benefit, why read the 48 Laws of Power Summary, uncover the intricacies, hidden truths, and mechanics of power. As human beings, we are inherently part of an ongoing contest, the game of power. This timeless game has persisted throughout history, shaping our lives consciously or subconsciously, with scenarios ranging from overt and bloody to subtle and shadowy. The pivotal question is, are you familiar with the rules, and are you strategically positioned to triumph? Some individuals choose to dismiss it, convincing themselves that opting out of the power game is feasible. They might label it as immoral and antisocial, remnants of less ethical and democratic eras. Unfortunately, those who disregard the game often become susceptible to manipulation by those who embrace it. On the other hand, certain individuals, akin to assertive playground bullies or charismatic business leaders, appear naturally adept at dominance. However, the game isn't inherently biased in their favor, rather, their skills can be acquired and honed by anyone committed to understanding and excelling in the game. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene meticulously outlines the rules of this game, drawing from historical instances spanning civilizations across the globe and encompassing 3 millennia of history. Greene distills lessons from master manipulators, guiding readers on how to outsmart opponents and evolve into a proficient player, a contemporary Machiavelli. In this summary, we offer you a preview, an initial glimpse, into the world of power by distilling 12 of the book's 48 laws. After all, revealing all the secrets at once would be counterproductive. In this summary, you'll learn how a rookie mistake can lead to substantial victories, why a finance minister faced imprisonment for arranging an extravagant party for his king, how, at times, surrendering becomes your most strategic move to win a battle. Law 1, never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. Avoid displaying your talents too overtly, as it may inspire fear and insecurity. Make your superiors appear more brilliant than they are to attain the heights of power. Law 2, never put too much trust in friends, learn to use enemies. Be wary of friends, they can betray quickly due to envy. Hire former enemies, as they can be more loyal. Judge who can further your interests and keep friends for friendship, but work with the skilled. Law 3, conceal your intentions. Keep people off balance by not revealing your actions' purpose. Use red herrings to create deception and smokescreens to distract attention. If people are unsure about your intentions, they can't counter your efforts effectively. Law 4, always say less than necessary. Impress by saying less, the more you talk, the more common you appear. Short answers and silences put others on the defensive, revealing valuable information about them. The less you say, the more intimidating you become. Law 5, so much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Establish a solid reputation for one outstanding quality, associate with those who enhance your image, and use it to undermine opponents. Ridicule can be a powerful tool. Law 6, court attention at all cost. Stand out, be conspicuous. Attach your name to qualities that set you apart. Even negative attention can be valuable. Play against expectations and welcome attention. Law 7, get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Utilize others' wisdom and legwork to further your cause. The credit is as important as the creation itself. Don't waste time and energy when you can wait for the right moment to claim credit. Law 8. Make other people come to you, use bait if necessary. Force others to act, maintaining control. Master your anger, play on people's natural tendencies, and keep the initiative by making others react to your moves. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Demonstrate through actions, arguing may stir resentment. People remember actions longer than arguments. Learn to demonstrate indirectly. Law 10. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Be cautious of negative influences, as emotions are infectious. Choose associations carefully, avoiding perpetually dissatisfied individuals. Surround yourself with the happy and fortunate. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Maintain independence by being indispensable. Make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity. Cultivate an irreplaceable talent or skill. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One sincere move can cover dishonest ones. Win hearts through calculated acts of kindness. Exceptions apply if you have a history of deceit. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Appeal to others' self-interest when seeking help. Understand their motives and align them with yours to succeed. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Use spies, or be a spy yourself. Pay attention in social encounters to gather valuable information. Suppress yourself in conversations to make others reveal their intentions. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. A feared enemy must be crushed completely. Leaving embers may lead to revenge. Annihilate enemies to ensure long-term security. Law 16. Use absence to increase honor and respect. Temporary withdrawal increases value. Make yourself less accessible to enhance your value. Scarcity increases perceived value. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability, be deliberately unpredictable to keep others off balance. Instill a kind of fear by unsettling those around you. Maintain the initiative through unpredictability. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself, isolation is dangerous. Social interaction is crucial for maintaining power. Isolation makes you an easy target. Resist the urge to isolate yourself in the face of threats. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. Different people react differently. Choose your victims and opponents carefully, never offend or deceive the wrong person. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Maintain independence to become the master of others. Be courted by all, stay above the fray, and keep yourself free of commitments to avoid being controlled by others. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than your mark. To gain an upper hand, make others believe they're more intelligent. Downplay your own abilities, taste, and sophistication, creating an illusion that encourages them to underestimate you. This way, they'll lower their guard, oblivious to your true motives. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. When you're at a disadvantage, don't fight needlessly. Surrender strategically to buy time, allowing your opponent's power to wane. While outwardly submissive, maintain inner strength. This tactic disarms and deceives, making them vulnerable for a counterattack. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Focus your energy on a single, powerful goal rather than spreading yourself thin. Deepen your efforts in a specific area, like mining a rich mine. Intensity triumphs over extensity, concentrate on what truly matters to achieve greatness. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. Navigate power dynamics with finesse. Practice modesty, nonchalance, and adapt your style to different personalities. Avoid delivering bad news, cultivate a distinctive image, and adhere to court politics. Following these rules ensures you thrive in power-centric environments. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Forge a new identity that captivates attention. Take control of how others perceive you, incorporating drama into your public persona. Develop self-awareness, creating a memorable character that commands respect and admiration. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Maintain a clean image by deflecting mistakes onto others. Use scapegoats and cat's paws to hide your involvement, ensuring your hands remain unsoiled. Shift blame strategically to protect your reputation. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Exploit people's desire to believe in something greater. Offer vague promises, emphasize enthusiasm over rationality, and create rituals. Establish a cult-like following by fulfilling their need for purpose and belonging. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Boldness inspires respect, timidity invites exploitation. Act decisively, asking for more than you think possible. The bolder your approach, the more attention you command. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Anticipate consequences, obstacles, and twists by planning thoroughly. Guided by the end goal, you gain control over circumstances. Train yourself to evaluate actions, ensuring strategic decisions for long-term success. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Conceal the effort behind your actions to appear naturally talented. Endless research and practice behind the scenes enhance your mystique. Keep the illusion of effortlessness to maintain an aura of exclusive skill. Law 31. Control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. Manipulate situations by controlling options. Offer choices that align with your goals, ensuring favorable outcomes regardless of the decision made. Control the narrative, disguising yourself as an agent of power. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Harness the power of fantasy by promising greatness. Emphasize visual and sensual appeal, borrowing from organized religion to create rituals. Tap into people's desires for transformation to build unwavering support. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Exploit weaknesses to gain an advantage. Identify insecurities, uncontrollable emotions, or secret pleasures to manipulate others. Understanding their vulnerabilities makes them susceptible to your influence. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion, act like a king to be treated like one. Project confidence and regality to garner respect. Set your own value, ask for what you deserve, and establish a commanding presence. By behaving like royalty, you inspire others to treat you accordingly. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Recognize the importance of timing. Be patient, waiting for the right moment to act decisively. Understand the spirit of the times and adapt your actions accordingly, ensuring success in every situation. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have, ignoring them is the best revenge. Maintain composure by ignoring unattainable goals. Distinguish between minor nuisances and significant challenges. Redirect focus from what cannot be obtained to achieve superior control. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Harness the power of striking imagery and grand gestures to create an aura of power. Employ symbols and visuals to captivate emotions, ensuring others are dazzled by appearances rather than scrutinizing your true intentions. Law 38. Think as you like but behave like others. Balance originality with conformity to avoid alienation. Blend in with societal norms while privately embracing your unique views. Gradually introduce unconventional ideas to a wider audience once firmly established in a position of power. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Maintain a calm exterior while stirring up emotions in others. Keep your head while others lose theirs, gaining a strategic advantage. Disrupt the status quo to force opponents to act prematurely, seizing control of the situation. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Avoid accepting free offerings, recognizing hidden obligations or tricks. Pay your own way to maintain independence, steering clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. Use strategic generosity to enhance your reputation and wield power. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Establish your own identity instead of living in the shadow of predecessors. Disparage the past, break free from the overbearing influence of great leaders, and create a legacy that stands on its own. Law 42, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Neutralize leaders to dismantle opposition. Identify key figures and remove them strategically, causing disarray among their followers. Without strong leadership, the group loses direction, making them easier to manipulate. Law 43, influence by seduction, not coercion. Soften resistance by understanding others' emotions and weaknesses. The key to power lies in winning hearts and minds through nuance. Law 44, disarm and infuriate using the mirror effect. Mimic your enemies, clouding their perception and gaining the power to manipulate and seduce. Law 45, preach change, but respect tradition. Humans resist too much innovation, blend change with familiar traditions for effective persuasion. Law 46, embrace imperfection. Display occasional defects to deflect envy and appear more human, preventing the creation of silent enemies. Law 47, know when to stop in victory. Arrogance and overconfidence can lead to more enemies than victories. Be guided by reason, not emotion. Law 48, assume formlessness. Stay adaptable and fluid like water. The powerful adapt constantly, avoiding a fixed form that opens them to attack. The 48 Laws of Power Lessons. 1. Don't outsmart your boss. Ever found yourself trying to impress your boss, only to have it backfire? You might have unwittingly violated the cardinal rule of the power game, never outshine the master, as Robert Greene aptly puts it. This fundamental law emphasizes the importance of appearing humble in the presence of those with greater power, especially superiors. Powerful individuals seek the limelight, and attempting to outdo them can inadvertently shift attention away, bruising their pride. What's worse is if you come across as superior to them, potentially posing a threat to their position. Such a perception might prompt them to take measures, often drastic, to eliminate you from your role. Consider the historical case of Nicolas Fouquet, King Louis XIV's finance minister. Despite being a smart and loyal advisor, Fouquet's ambition to become prime minister after the incumbent's demise led him to organize an opulent party at his lavishly furnished chateau. This move, intended to showcase his influence, backfired. The king, feeling overshadowed, accused Fouquet of stealing to amass his wealth. Regardless of the truth, Fouquet spent his remaining days in prison. The lesson is clear: acts of extravagance and displays of personal brilliance might not endear you to your boss, they might do the opposite. The key strategy is to consistently make the person in charge shine brighter than everyone else, yourself included. Take the example of Galileo Galilei, who needed funding for his research. Focusing on the Medicis, he discovered Jupiter's 4 moons in 1610. Skillfully tying this discovery to the Medici dynasty, he portrayed it as a cosmic event heralding their greatness. This stroke of ego-boosting brilliance secured him a salaried position as the official philosopher and mathematician of Cosimo II de' Medici, ensuring he never had to beg for funding again. Next. 2. Take credit for others' work and protect your achievements. Ever thought about claiming someone else's work as your own, perhaps by plagiarizing a few clever phrases? The pursuit of power often involves leveraging the efforts of others to your advantage. Consider the case of Nikola Tesla, a Serbian scientist who worked for the renowned inventor Thomas Edison. Despite Tesla's pivotal role in improving Edison's primitive design and creating Edison's celebrated dynamo, history credits Edison for the invention. Tesla toiled for a year, often working 18-hour days in the lab, yet the dynamo's success is attributed solely to Edison. This phenomenon isn't unique to the past. Many politicians don't write their speeches, and famous novelists often draw inspiration or ideas from other writers. However, merely benefiting from others' work isn't sufficient, you must also claim credit for it. Edison and his company took all the credit for Tesla's contributions to the dynamo, failing to share any profits despite a promised $50,000 for Tesla. In light of Tesla's experience, recognize that the acknowledgement received for an invention or creation is as crucial as the work itself. Failing to claim credit leaves the door open for others to seize your ideas, taking all the recognition that accompanies them. Next. 3. Pretend to be a friend to gain info. In the pursuit of outmaneuvering competitors, understanding their strategies can be challenging. However, a potent strategy for acquiring power involves gathering essential information about those you aim to control. Knowledge about a person's plans, weaknesses, and desires not only helps in winning their favor but also guides their actions. Joseph Devine, an art dealer in 1920, exemplified this approach when seeking to win over industrialist Andrew Mellon as a client. Faced with Mellon's initial skepticism, Devine resorted to bribing Mellon's staff for secret information about him. Following Mellon to London, Devine coincidentally appeared at the same art gallery, engaging him in a lively conversation. Leveraging his knowledge of Mellon's preferences, Devine created the impression of shared tastes, ultimately winning Mellon's favor and turning him into a valued client. Emulating Devine's strategy involves hiring informants or, preferably, acting as a spy yourself by assuming the role of a person's friend. While hiring spies is a common approach, it carries risks as the honesty of informants is uncertain. To ensure accurate information, engaging in spying personally is more reliable, although challenging. People tend to be more open with someone they consider a friend, making this strategy highly effective. Onwards. 4. Be unpredictable to confuse others. Harnessing the power of unpredictability can be a strategic advantage in competitive scenarios. While many people dislike sudden changes, acting unpredictably can keep your competitors off balance, preventing them from deciphering your habits and decision-making patterns. This unpredictability not only intimidates and unnerves your opponents, but also protects you from being easily understood and exploited. Illustrating this concept is the famous 1972 chess match between Bobby Fischer and Russian champion Boris Spassky. Aware of Spassky's strategy to target opponents' routines and predictability, Fischer employed unpredictability to his advantage. Even before the match, Fischer created uncertainty about his arrival in Reykjavik, the match venue, keeping Spassky on edge. Upon arriving, Fischer almost caused the match to be cancelled due to his delayed presence. Once the match commenced, Fischer complained about various elements, creating an atmosphere of distraction. During the actual games, Fischer intentionally made careless mistakes and displayed unusual behavior, leaving Spassky unsure if Fischer was genuinely making errors or strategically bluffing. This confusion gave Fischer the upper hand, as Spassky was preoccupied with explaining Fischer's behavior rather than focusing on the game. Seizing this opportunity, Fischer proceeded to make bold moves and won game after game. Ultimately, Spassky conceded, and Fischer became the world champion. In essence, introducing unpredictability into your actions distracts and confuses your competitors, providing you with an advantageous position to strike and succeed. Moving on. 5. Give up voluntarily to regain power later on. While the instinct in the face of an opponent is often to fight for glory, engaging in a battle where victory is impossible may not lead to power. In situations where the opponent is significantly stronger, an unconventional strategy emerges: surrender. Surrendering, or at least convincingly appearing to do so, has its merits. When facing a more powerful adversary, aggressive resistance is expected. By choosing surrender, you minimize the damage inflicted upon yourself. Moreover, convincing the opponent of your surrender may lead them to lower their guard, creating an opportunity for you to regroup, gather strength, and plan your next move. Consider the case of Bertolt Brecht, a writer with revolutionary communist ideas who faced investigation by the U.S. Congress in 1947 along with other intellectuals. While his colleagues caused a tumultuous scene, Brecht remained composed, answering questions politely. His cooperative behavior led to his release and even an offer of assistance with immigration procedures. Brecht, however, chose to leave the country, continuing to express his communist beliefs. Meanwhile, his confrontational peers were blacklisted, unable to publish for years. Embracing surrender as a tool of self-empowerment allows you to focus on building long-term strength rather than making significant sacrifices for fleeting moments of glory. This strategic surrender can pave the way for future empowerment and success. Next. 6. Act like a superior. If you hold a superior position, it's crucial to act the part if you want to be treated accordingly. Attempting to appear equal to those under your authority can lead to contempt rather than respect. Louis Philippe, the King of France in the 1830s and 1840s, serves as a cautionary example. Disliking royal ceremonies and symbols, he opted for a casual demeanor, wearing a grey hat and holding an umbrella instead of traditional regalia. He associated more with bankers than royalty, leading to disdain from both the wealthy and the poor. Even his banker friends turned against him when they realized they could insult him without consequences. Ultimately, public discontent forced him to abdicate. Acting like equals when you're in a position of authority can breed suspicion. Others may perceive it as a deceptive ploy to downplay your privileges. The better strategy is to embrace the symbolism of your position. By believing in your superiority and reflecting it in your actions, people will naturally treat you with the respect befitting your role. Christopher Columbus successfully employed this strategy. Confident interactions with the Spanish royal family convinced them to finance his voyages, solidifying his image as someone worthy of royal support. Next. 7. Learn how to seduce others. In the quest for power, seduction proves more effective than coercion. Forceful tactics may seem easier, but they often lead to hidden resentment and resistance. A more strategic approach involves appealing to people's emotions, influencing them to act willingly in your favor. Consider the ancient Chinese strategist Zhuge Liang, facing an invasion from King Minghua. Instead of opting for a direct confrontation, Liang understood the drawbacks of coercion. Employing seduction, he harnessed the power of emotions to achieve his goals. When capturing Minghua and his army, Liang surprised them with unexpected kindness. Despite the initial threat, Minghua was treated to delicious food and wine. Liang released the soldiers and made a unique demand: Minghua had to promise to bow to the Chinese king if captured again. Even after multiple captures, Liang consistently released Minghua, each time treating him generously. This created a sense of gratitude and indebtedness in Minghua. By the 7th capture, Minghua willingly surrendered himself and his kingdom, acknowledging Liang's power. This strategic use of seduction, appealing to emotions and fostering goodwill, proved more effective than coercion in securing power. Next. 8. Avoid friends, collaborate with enemies. In the pursuit of power, it's crucial to avoid relying on friends and, surprisingly, beneficial to collaborate with enemies. Friends may harbor envy, making them potentially treacherous in professional endeavors. History provides an illustrative example in the Chinese Emperor Sung, who, aware of the dangers posed by close friends, strategically distanced himself by offering them estates and riches. This maneuver allowed him to reign for an unprecedented 16 years. Rather than depending on friends, consider collaborating with enemies to expand your influence. In 1807, French Foreign Minister Talleyrand recognized Napoleon's declining influence and sought to overthrow him. Surprisingly, Talleyrand found a reliable ally in Joseph Fouché, the chief of the secret police and a longtime political adversary. Despite their history of rivalry, both believed Napoleon's downfall was imminent and collaborated effectively to bring about a change in leadership. This unexpected partnership led to Napoleon's overthrow, and while Fouché lost influence, Talleyrand emerged as a key minister in the new government. Onwards. 9. Convince through action, not argument. Rather than engaging in fruitless debates, the art of persuasion often lies in artful action rather than argumentation. Trying to convince others through debates, especially when dealing with powerful individuals, can be counterproductive and even perilous. In 131 BC, during the Roman conquest of the Greek town of Pergamus, a Roman consul named Mucianus faced a situation where an engineer suggested using a smaller mast for a battering ram. Despite the engineer being correct, he was punished with a fatal whipping for challenging the established plan. This illustrates that being right and expressing it verbally may not be enough. Actions can speak louder than words. A more effective approach involves crafting actions that subtly lead to the desired outcome while making opponents believe you share their viewpoint. Sir Christopher Wren, the renowned 17th-century British architect, faced a situation where the mayor of Westminster insisted on adding 2 extra columns to a town hall for perceived safety concerns. Instead of debating the necessity, Wren incorporated the columns into the design. Years later, when builders discovered the columns served no structural purpose, Ren's cunning action had proved his point without engaging in a futile discussion. Onwards. 10. When asking for help, promote their self-interest, not their altruism. When seeking assistance from others, it's crucial to appeal to their self-interest rather than relying on their goodwill. People are often driven by their own interests, and framing requests in a way that aligns with their personal benefits increases the likelihood of cooperation. In a historical example from the 1400s, an Italian prince in Lucca gained fame with the support of the powerful Poggio family. However, once in power, the prince neglected the family's contributions. When the Poggios planned a rebellion, Stefano attempted a diplomatic approach, reminding the prince of the family's past support. Instead of recognizing their self-interest, the prince had the Poggios, including Stefano, imprisoned and executed. This demonstrates that expecting people to act based on moral or altruistic motives may not yield favorable results. In the 16th century, Portuguese emissaries in Japan sought to establish relationships and convert the Japanese to Christianity. However, their failure stemmed from a lack of understanding and consideration of Japanese interests. In contrast, the Dutch, arriving a century later, recognized the Japanese desire for trade agreements to access the European market. By aligning with the Japanese self-interest, the Dutch successfully developed relationships with Japan, while the Portuguese lost influence. This emphasizes the importance of recognizing and appealing to others' self-interest for effective collaboration. Moving on. 11. Don't be always available. Being overly available can diminish your desirability, a principle not only applicable to love but also a fundamental law of power. The story of Deioces from the 8th century BC illustrates the importance of strategic unavailability. In Media, where opposition to rulers was strong, Deioces mediated between rival factions and gained admiration for his dispute resolution skills. However, as he continued to make himself available, people took his services for granted. The key lesson here is that unavailability is crucial for being perceived as desirable and valuable. Deioces realized this principle and decided to retire, leaving Media to its chaotic state. Soon, the people, realizing the value of his leadership, pleaded for his return. Deioces agreed but set a condition: a grand palace with a well-equipped security detail. With this strategic move, he ruled over the area for 53 years. This story emphasizes that by strategically withholding your presence, you can enhance your desirability and value in the eyes of others. Moving on. 12. Don't hide. Surround yourself with those you depend on. Rather than isolating yourself out of fear, surround yourself with those on whom you depend. Isolating yourself can cut you off from power and influence, as demonstrated by the story of Qi Shi Huangdi in China around 220 BC. Qi Shi Huangdi, the emperor of China and the most powerful person in the world, became paranoid in his later years, retreating to a protected palace with secret passageways to avoid being seen. He executed anyone who laid eyes on him and traveled in elaborate disguises. In the end, he died alone, estranged from family, isolated from friends, and forgotten by his court. Louis XIV, in stark contrast, filled his Versailles palace with courtiers who attended daily social events in his room. Facing rebellion from the aristocracy, Louis strategically kept the noblemen close, under his watchful eye. By manipulating and bestowing privileges, Louis prevented the rebellion, making his courtiers vie for his favor and attention. This story underscores the importance of surrounding yourself with those essential to your power and staying connected rather than isolating yourself. The 48 Laws of Power Review. The game of power is ever-present and unavoidable. Ignoring it is not an option, you must learn the rules and play strategically. Throughout history, the world has been shaped by power and conquest, and while the methods may have evolved, the essence of control and dominance remains crucial. By studying the successes and failures of historical power struggles, you can position yourself as a formidable player in the ongoing game of power. Embrace the lessons from the past, navigate the complexities, and become a force to be reckoned with in the pursuit of power and influence. The 48 Laws of Power quotes. Robert Greene quotes, "When you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity, you cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Law 4. Always say less than necessary when you are trying to impress people with words. The more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you are saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous, better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold, no one honors the timid. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Keep your friends for friendship, but work with the skilled and competent. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Do not leave your reputation to chance or gossip. It is your life's artwork, and you must craft it, hone it, and display it with the care of an artist. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Appearing better than others is always dangerous, but most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses. Envy creates silent enemies. It is smart to occasionally display defects, and admit to harmless vices, in order to deflect envy and appear more human and approachable. Only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Never assume that the person you are dealing with is weaker or less important than you are. Some people are slow to take offense, which may make you misjudge the thickness of their skin, and fail to worry about insulting them. But should you offend their honor and their pride, they will overwhelm you with a violence that seems sudden and extreme given their slowness to anger. If you want to turn people down, it is best to do so politely and respectfully, even if you feel their request is impudent or their offer ridiculous. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Many a serious thinker has been produced in prisons, where we have nothing to do but think. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. But the human tongue is a beast that few can master. It strains constantly to break out of its cage, and if it is not tamed, it will run wild and cause you grief. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Never waste valuable time, or mental peace of mind, on the affairs of others. That is too high a price to pay. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Law 38. Think as you like but behave like others. If you make a show of going against the times, flaunting your unconventional ideas and unorthodox ways, people will think that you only want attention and that you look down upon them. They will find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. It is far safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality only with tolerant friends and those who are sure to appreciate your uniqueness. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Lord, protect me from my friends, I can take care of my enemies. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. There is nothing more intoxicating than victory, and nothing more dangerous. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Person who cannot control his words shows that he cannot control himself, and is unworthy of respect. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. Be wary of friends, they will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. Robert Greene. The 48 Laws of Power. You choose to let things bother you. You can just as easily choose not to notice the irritating offender, to consider the matter trivial and unworthy of your interest. That is the powerful move. What you do not react to cannot drag you down in a futile engagement. Your pride is not involved. The best lesson you can teach an irritating gnat is to consign it to oblivion by ignoring it. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power for the Future. The motto is, no days unalert. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Few are born bold. Even Napoleon had to cultivate the habit on the battlefield, where he knew it was a matter of life and death. In social settings, he was awkward and timid, but he overcame this and practiced boldness in every part of his life, because he saw its tremendous power, how it could literally enlarge a man, even one who, like Napoleon, was in fact conspicuously small. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Despise the free lunch. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. To succeed in the game of power, you have to master your emotions. But even if you succeed in gaining such self-control, you can never control the temperamental dispositions of those around you. And this presents a great danger. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. When you meet a swordsman, draw your sword, do not recite poetry to one who is not a poet. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Remember, the best deceivers do everything they can to cloak their roguish qualities. They cultivate an air of honesty in one area, to disguise their dishonesty in others. Honesty is merely another decoy in their arsenal of weapons. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. A prince asked the dying Spanish statesman, "Does your excellency forgive all your enemies?" "I do not have to forgive all my enemies," answered the statesman, "I have had them all shot." Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. An emotional response to a situation is the single greatest barrier to power, a mistake that will cost you a lot more than any temporary satisfaction you might gain by expressing your feelings. Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. Never be distracted by people's glamorous portraits of themselves and their lives. Search and dig for what really imprisons them. Robert Greene.